Thank God it's Friday. Well, what you're just about to watch, it may confuse you a little bit because I looked a little younger. Yes, because I'm just about to share Thank God it's Friday 2024. This is a series that every Friday shows you the activities here at Salento with Love, or probably the run around that I take place in my life on a weekly basis with many beautiful things happening. But this is 2024, remember. So whenever you are leaving a comment, remember that we are back in 2024. If you'd like to subscribe to the 2025, well then do that by subscribing to the Thank God it's Friday 2025. And also, when you're visiting Puglia, come stop here by the office and one of these fabulous books will be waiting for you together with a lot of other things. So enjoy Thank God it's Friday 2024, become a subscriber of Thank God it's Friday 2025 and have a fantastic weekend. Roba di 4-5 minuti, sono lì anch'io.
Ok, va bene. Ciao ciao ciao.
And this is how my morning started. Wednesday morning, a tractor arrived. So we just, my maintenance guy's there with some planks that are going to be used to offload the tractor. I'm not sure if I'm going to put any of this in video, but anyway, I'm going there. I'm curious to see how it goes and hopefully I can give a hand as well. So let's go and do it. Wow, it's beautiful. Wow, that's a John Deere. Mission accomplished, huh?
Mission accomplished.
Incredible.
All the way from Germany.
You got me worried last night. Wow.
Davide, I laughed. It's like, you had Davide so confused because he just like...
No, it was all clear.
Is the tractor going to...
Oh yeah, that was confused. Wow, fantastic. I mean, sometimes even challenges like this, they just make my day, my week, but all sorted. On the ground. And after the tractor and a very, very big site visit in Palazzo Angelini, we're just with the property manager Totti today, just going through some of the things that need doing. This wonderful property here on the corner that potentially needs to be refurbished, but it's quite amazing to see that actually belongs to one of our clients. That belongs to one of our clients. Around the corner a few, so quite amazing.
In that way you would have a bigger picture than what you had up to now, okay? Wish you a fantastic day.
Yeah, managing remote refurbishments or doing any work, it requires really an additional touch. And then you're running around from one side to another, and then I was rushing to get to my car, and there they are. That's Fiorella. She manages rentinginpuglia.com, and Ludovica actually is our video editor. I don't want to interact, but it's fantastic. They're all working and bringing this region more love, more passion, and hey, can you blame them? Look at this blue, look at this history. Yeah, so Fiorella is fully dedicated to renting in Puglia. I wasn't planning this, but it's fantastic that they're working, because there will be the launch of a new channel on YouTube. I don't know what they're doing, but they're working on a new launch, and it's very much promoting the long-term or short-term rental here in the region of Salento, because so many people want a property for maybe 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, while they're exploring the area, while they're researching, or while their property is getting refurbished, or just probably because they want to spend 3, 4, 5 months of the year. So renting in Puglia is specifically designed to help and assist people that are looking for longer term or shorter terms, and that's what they're doing. So they're preparing the material for the launch of the new YouTube channel. Amazing. While I can carry on bouncing around and do what I do. I just arrived here in Corigliano. I missed all the action, but you remember only a couple of weeks ago, I think on the first episode of Thank God It's Friday, we were just talking about connecting this beautiful property to the sewer, and that's exactly what they've been doing today. In fact, actually, if you see where they've dug here and created a trunk, so they actually had to dig over 1 meter down. Now we have the connection there. Remember, we were talking about the connection there not being any good, and now I'm just waiting for the plumber, so we can finally now discuss how this is going to service the entire house. So yeah, if you remember in episode 1, and only a few weeks later, so this is actually done by the grid company, nothing to do, but obviously getting through the process of getting them to do this, it will take 3-4 months. And when the time you apply, they need to get a surveyor to come over to measure up, to see what can be done, for them to do a quote, because all of this is public road. They will get a permit to close the road. In fact, this morning the road here would have been closed for at least 4 or 5 hours, and then for them to do that. And then what happens from here to the rest of the house is your responsibility. So that's exactly what I'm here to do now with the plumber. Wood sheet ok. Quindi se io mi sposto di 10-15 cm con la porta va bene,
non è un problema,
non è un problema,
assolutamente.
perfetto. E invece lavabo qui centrale, perfetto. E poi invece quando ci spostiamo in questa zona qui dobbiamo portare la cucina, esatto. Guarda, gli avevo mandato una mail per confermarmelo, quindi appena mi manda un piccolo schemino. Lavello, sì. Perfetto. Poi invece qua dentro questa stanza rimane come sta, però questa diventa lavanderia, quindi qui abbiamo bisogno di una allaccio lavanderia, e del bagno invece abbiamo tutta la diagramma.
Davide.
Buongiorno, buongiorno. And in the 5 minutes that I have left between things, and then I've got to rush back for a Zoom call, I'll come to see what's happening here. Tutto a posto sopra? Sì, tutto. Mamma mia, è spaccato tutto qua, In this particular case, for example, the access to the bedroom, I'm moving this door over, which will then create a wall along here to have wardrobes, because then the room is very large, but where would the wardrobes go? So although the bed can go under there, I still don't lose the balance. But in order to do that, I just have to make that wall a little larger. And also in doing so means that the access to this, which was a kitchen and now is going to become an ensuite bathroom, I then gain the extra space by bringing this wall backwards, meaning that the door accessing the bathroom can move backwards as well, allowing me to have additional space for potentially a double basin. There is a chimney that comes through in that corner, which he was just taking a huge amount of space, and he goes all the way down to a property downstairs that I don't own. So you just have to work the way around. Don't get upset sometimes when you come across situations, but work your way around. And by doing so, I've created a little bit of a movement within a square room. And also I've created a storage on the other side that I'm going to share with you, because where am I going to put my brooms? Where am I going to put all those refuse bags and bins that you need to have in Italy? So that I've created a space there. And this still gives me a very big space to deal with. Inside the main living area, where we've got this big huge area, there was a little return on the wall over here, and by removing this little return on the wall and by growing the wall here, I've literally created a wall that it's, first of all, is straight, and I can think of a TV along there. And in doing so, I've created two things. One, an interesting void in here, which there can be shelves, it could be a rack. Don't get distracted with a view, wherever you do. Keep your eyes on me. But when the door becomes a full-size door, the door could open just on this side here and you won't protrude too much into the room. And on this wall opposite, you have a huge wall there where you can have a very nice sofa with a kitchen at the other end. So everything happens in one space. Again, trying to work with what you've got here. And these are the stairs taking you upstairs into a mezzanine, well, taking you into another bedroom that we have here, which is a good size. The bathroom here before was just this little strip. And without really creating any additional volumes within the property, but just working over the stairs, I've created a huge amount of space, put a washer dryer, and a huge amount of space here to have a shower. How did I do that? I've created this joist going across on the two levels, giving enough head height as you're coming up and down the stairs, but I've almost doubled up the size of the bathroom. Ready to go back to the office now. I've got a Zoom call in 40 minutes. Let's go. This is the moment I love the most, when everyone is gone and I can just concentrate and do my work. First, a nice espresso. Mississippi with love on this beautiful Thursday morning. Nice and fresh, blue sky, and a lot of work happening here. So we're in Leche, just outside Porta Rudie, which is one of the doors of the city of Leche, taking you straight to the Duomo. And together with Antonio this morning, we're just going to go and look at a beautiful property that was remotely purchased a few months ago and see what can be done to turn it into a little jewel. Buongiorno. Well, time to take Antonio up here. Antonio, ecco la cucina allora. Qui il piano ce l'abbiamo già finito. Oh, sei salito in alto? Quello paracadute ti serve là sopra. Back in Mississippi we love now, but after Casabella with Antonio, just to refine measurements for the kitchen and all the other elements that will complete this beautiful property. This was a design that we did together about 2 years ago, right from the beginning, and obviously now we're getting to the point of almost manufacturing furniture. We're getting to that finishing touch, so very important to make sure that the way the appliances and everything sits right in the right place.
Che arrivano alla volta qua, la spazzolano tutta quanta e le giunture le sanano tutte quante.
Well, I can only say thank God it's Friday tomorrow, but I'm back here. But maybe through the course of 2024 you're going to see incredible things happening. So let's see what's going on today. Always beautiful. Just like any other building site, doesn't make too much of a difference from the other building sites. A lot of rubble, but it is mine. Thank God it's Friday, and it's really Friday. Although today I've got my new GoPro 11, just using it for the first time. In fact, half of my morning it's already been, it's gone already. When I started to use it this morning, I realized that the battery was totally flat. So I had to go back and charge my battery a little bit. My morning started this morning with some scaffolding going on a property adjacent to one of our clients. So liaising with this building company, making sure that they leave the passage free for deliveries. Then a lovely call with a fantastic person, Fiona, in Australia, who's planning to set up an artist residency here in Salento. So always nice to be involved in that front. And now here at Palazzo Angelini. A lot going on here in Salento. It's like one of those things today, for example, a sofa was ordered by our client, arrived, but the truck couldn't get inside the Centro Storico. Very common, and unfortunately these delivery companies, they just don't care. But anyway, I've just been told now that a group of people that we managed to get off someone else's building site came down the scaffolding and marched to the center of the town, picked up the sofa and dropped it off to our client. To wrap up my Friday now, which is one of the things that I love the most, I'm gonna go and have lunch with my parents, but I can just see my dad here. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, no. He looks like my father, but he's not. Someone else. If you have old parents, I think it's great. Obviously, we still got our own lives, but it's great to dedicate time and spend time with them. Che hai preparato?
Io leggi con la tagliarina,
Caspita, questa fatta in casa, pure i gamberi.
poco di pesce.
Setto del mangio. Queste come le patatine sono, cominci con una e poi vai, non ti fermi.
Sì, ma se succade.
Oggi mugnoleggi, pasta fatta a casa. I got a little bit of a drive to do, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to share perhaps some elements that can be useful when purchasing a property in Italy. Now, so many things are needed really before a due diligence can be completed on the purchase of a property. But I would say if you are, I'm so shocked and surprised at the amount of people that I speak to during the course of a year that have already embarked in the process of purchasing a property, they've already put an offer in without seeing any paperwork. If you are considering purchasing a property in Italy, I know that sometimes people are very jealous about informations, but these are public records that first of all the agent should make available, but also sometimes they need to make a little bit of an effort to make them available. Oh, that's an eagle. They may need to make a little bit of an effort to make them available because the people that are selling the house potentially don't have these papers because they've never applied, they've never downloaded the online portal. So it means that the agent needs to do some work, and it may mean that the agent needs to spend maybe 50, 20, 30 euros to download these informations. But under no circumstances an offer should be ever made without looking at some of the basic paperwork. And one is the floor plan of the property. And we are talking about the official one that is released by the cadastro. Very often I see plans that say, yes, we were given the plan, but the plan may be the plan of an architect, it may be a plan that they've drawn themselves, but not the official planimetria catastale. You really need to ask for this piece of information. It will also carry a couple of very important elements. If you look around the edges of the planimetria catastale, you have the sheet number and the particella number. That refers to the map of the area, and so very important to have these informations. Also, one information that you will have on the planimetria catastale is the last date that it was modified. Now, this is a very, very important piece of information. I won't share it on this video, otherwise there's just too much info. But the second piece of paperwork that you will need to start a basic element of due diligence that allows you potentially to move forward to put an offer is the visura catastale. They will tell you who the name of the person is, so at least you know that the people that you are dealing are the actual people that own the property. Also, the visura catastale will tell you who the people that own the property are. Because if that property has been subject to a succession, well, then you may have loads of people on that list. You may have 2, you may have 3, you may have 5, you may have 10, you may have 15. That automatically will tell you potentially how complicated a transaction is going to be. If you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, the question is, am I talking to the right person? Are they all in agreement to sell? Very important, because otherwise you'll end up wasting an incredible amount of time. Another piece of information that the cadastral sheet is going to give you is the class of the property. Is he an A3? Is he an A4? Is he a C2? Is he an F? So all of these are important, and then a simple Google search will allow you to understand what is the cadastral class of that property. Based on this piece of information, you can calculate the imposta di registro, the taxes that you'll need to pay when you purchase the property. The same sheet will also carry the valore catastale, the cadastral value of the property. Thanks to this number, you can calculate how much it's going to be the amount that you'll be paying to the Italian government as a result of purchasing the property, called imposta di registro. The last piece of information that you will have on the cadastral sheet is the date of any changes or anything that's happened to that cadastral title. Any changes that's happened from a cadastral point of view needs to be documented and backed up with paperwork. Not having those type of informations will not allow you to really complete. But these basic elements that we've talked about contained on the cadastral floor plan or planimetria catastale and the visura catastale would allow you to do the basic due diligence that can potentially allow you to make an offer or start a negotiation.
Stanno provando a chiamarmi da 3 giorni. Solo però che a me arrivano chiamate e ho detto io, ma quali 3 giorni? Ho detto qua non mi sta chiamando nessuno, ho detto io rispondo a tutti. Ha detto guarda che loro ti chiamano con lo spam. Dico, abbiamo scoperto pure un'altra cosa. È normale, io leggo spam e non rispondo, adesso invece le devo rispondere tutte.
Vabbè, per favore mantienimi aggiornato. Io direi che prima che finisca la giornata di oggi conviene chiamare un'altra volta e cercare di fare qualcosa. Tra l'altro magari potresti chiamare Davide per dire che sta incontrando queste difficoltà e se la sua esperienza lo porta magari ad una strada diversa. Probably a good idea to share this with you. I was talking to Milena, but really incredible. We're just connecting a new property to the gas grid. And they told us last year that 5 days from applying would be sufficient. So to be on the safe side, I applied at the beginning of October. Then towards the end of October, we had the engineer coming on site. All they got to do is just put a meter. The gas goes already to the property, probably disconnected many years ago, but then you do the application and they'll come and put a new meter. And then obviously you connect your new system to that. We are at the beginning of February and really causing a huge amount of stress and incredible amount of hours spent. If I had to put into hours, how many hours have been spent chasing after the grid company, I think probably, I don't know, 20, 30 hours in the last 3-4 months. This brings me to potentially giving you a little tip. If you are doing a refurbishment anywhere in Italy and you need your property connected to a new utility, well then make sure you start the process well in advance. It may mean that you're going to be paying for the utility for 3, 4, 5, 6 months while you're not yet using it. And this was the reason why I waited 3 months before the finish or the end of a project to connect to the gas. But on the same note, it may guarantee you that you'll have the electricity or the water or the gas when you get to the end of the project. So just a word of advice, never trust the bureaucracy, never trust the grid companies, because you are dealing with the call centers. Sometimes these call centers are on the other side of Europe and they may not be in Italy. You need to be fluent in the language. So all of these elements come into place. So if you are connecting a property to a grid, then make sure that you give yourself an incredible amount of time to just save yourself from the stress that in this particular case we're going through. Good tip. Milena is calling me. Let's see. Milena, dimmi.
Ciao Davide, ho una
Ciao.
bellissima notizia. Finalmente martedì monteranno il contatore del gas a casa di Gasparini.
Fantastic. Grazie.
Di niente, ciao.
Grazie. Ciao Milena, a più tardi, a dopo.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. So when you watch this video, the gas is already being connected. Oh, I almost got emotional over this call. And this is actually, I can tell you now, because when you watch this video, you probably have seen it all. This is for Grotto Gasper. The house is finished. We need the gas so we can take a warm shower. Friday afternoon, about 4:30. Meeting now with a guy that does all our covers in wood, tiles, bamboo, to look at a beautiful project that we are just putting together. But as I'm wandering through, I come across the beautiful properties managed by Salento with love, and also closed and sold by Salento with love. Grotto Gasper. I think they're in there unpacking. So excited for them, really. Some of these people, change of life. They've left the United States and they're now in a little town in Salento. Now, I think that's extraordinary, but at the same time, quite daunting. So beautiful to be in a comfortable house. During the week now to establish all the different elements. I was here early in the week, so you probably have seen this already, which is going to be a wonderful bathroom here with closing this off, kitchen, dining, this incredible lounge with the view. Buonasera. Everyone is gone. Where is everybody? I can hear the compressor going.
Ah, ecco dove ti trovo. Maestro. Raffinamento, no? Lui invece sigillato dentro la stanza. Settimana dura? Che spettacolo. Tieni ancora la verniciata, no? Mamma mia. Vabbè, la settimana è finita? Domani pure? Domani pure vernici? So the week is not over yet. Time to go. Leave the masters at work and probably wrapping up my week. Adesso posso dire thank God it's Friday, eh? Guarda.
Yes.
Bellissimo. So now I can say thank God it's Friday. I didn't finish yet, but this is a Chinese vase that I bought at an antique store in Leche. These designs inside. Barbara needed a coffee table, and I thought, well, Barbara, what do you think about a coffee table?
Oh, it's wonderful. Buy Davide.
And so I've just ordered the glass, which has got made with a thick, beautiful, about 15 mil, solid. Put some of those silicone drops around, and here we have a coffee table in a beautiful office of the lawyer. Anyway, with this, I'll wrap it up. It's officially Friday. We've finished it up with 7 o'clock. It's time to go. It's done. Thank God it's Friday. Hope you enjoyed it.
I was that. Yeah, I looked younger. Different hairstyle as well. Subscribe to 2025 and I'll see you every week on a Friday. Stay safe wherever you are.